dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating.
What's going on, guys? Baston and Moffat here, coming at you with a new video for this week. In this week's video, I'm going to highlight some of my favorite cold water winter tactics for bass fishing. So, without further ado, let's just get into her. Well guys, we're out here on a nice winter day, middle of December. Gonna start chucking this crankbait. Might throw some other reaction style baits, but let's see what we can get them on. Hopefully we get a big girl today, but Marburg's tough in the winter. But let's see what happens. Say what? Dude, that was a fish. That was an actual fish. It smacked it. Oh my goodness. Why didn't I get it? Big bait, you just probably big fish, big fish.
No net either.
Big fish, guys. No, it got off! Big fish, guys. No, it got off! No! Come on! Oh, you know what? I had it snagged.
Oh.
That's why I lost it.
Take your...
Look at that, guys. No wonders I lost that big fish. I had it snagged.
Here, here's something.
There's a scale that was on my hook. No, it was bass scales. That was a huge... That was a huge bass then, dude.
Bend that hook up a little bit so it's got a little more bite.
That would have been like a 6-7 pound bass.
Probably.
That's so messed up. You must have swiped at it and I set the hook in for him. Crankbait.
Huh?
Crankbait. That's a fish. Get the net, get the net, get the net. That's a fish. Get the net, get the net, get the net. Come on, every f***ing fish I get on today gets off.
That was like a 4-pounder.
I know. Most fish I lost today were huge.
Okay, well don't cry about it.
Mother.
There we go.
Finally.
There we go.
Finally.
Came out too.
And it came out in the net.
That's winter fishing for you though. Sometimes they don't hang on the lure too good.
Finally hooked up with a decent one. That's not even anywhere near as big as the ones we lost today. But that's a decent one there, guys. Check him out. Nice fish. Decent one. Freaking winter fishing, guys. Interesting stuff. This fish fell off in the net and I barely felt him bite. It was just all of a sudden there. Almost felt like I hit grass. One last look, guys. Let's put this nice one go. Put her back. There she goes. Old trusty spinnerbait never fails me. I just picked this spinnerbait up to throw on just because sometimes in the cold spinnerbait seems to work sometimes. It's usually not my go-to cold bait, but it's one of my go-tos when I can't get nothing going. Sometimes I just get them on the spinnerbait because I love this one. Something about these big old blades that they end up liking. There's one. Get the net. There's one. Get the net.
Keep him down. Keep him down.
Look at that big one, guys. There's a toad off the old crank. Look at that fatty. That's a fat fish, guys.
Heavy.
Alright, guys. Got that nice big girl. Give her a good look. Now, let's let her go. Cold water fishing like this with the crankbait. Let's let this fatty go. There she goes. On down. That fish was right on that point there. I threw in around it, brought the crankbait right around the side of it, felt it hit the bottom a couple of times, and bam, she hit it right there. Big old Rapala DT20 in a smash. One of Ike Kennelly design colors, one of my favorite colors out here. This is smash. I know, there's only a slight difference between the two. Alright, so here we are, guys. We're at the portion of the video where I'm going to break everything down for you a little bit and just go over a few of the things that we did in this video and how I caught these fish. So let's get into it. First, I was throwing a big swim bait. Now this wasn't the exact one that I was throwing the first day. This is a big 10-inch Huddleston. But I was throwing out my 7.6 extra heavy fast action Enigma Phenom and a Shimano Tranix reel. This is a 301 HG. And I also threw this swim bait. This is the one that I threw in the video, lost a really big one on, and had one hit up by the dam first thing in the morning. This is a 10-inch Kitech Fat Swimmer on a 1-ounce lead head. I was really shocked to get a bite on that as quick as I did when we were out there. That's kind of why I started going nuts to that first one that I got a bite with. And then as you can see, I threw a little hissy fit when I lost the big one on it. Just because I knew it was a big fish, saw him flash a little bit. It was probably easily a 6-7 pound bass. So, oh well. You live and you learn, and you fight them another day. But the swim bait and the Huddleston style swim bait that I throw, these guys I typically let sink all the way to the bottom, and then I'll slow roll them. You can fish these around bridges, around riprap, around any kind of cover that you can find, in trees, laydowns, anything like that, even on the points. I was just, these 2 days, I was just going around looking for schools of fish on the fish finder, seeing if I could find some schools here and there, and then was fishing within the schools and different pods of fish that I found that day. And it worked a little bit. Like I said, Marburg's pretty tough this time of year, so aren't going to catch a ton. But when you catch some this time of year, a lot of times it's good ones, especially if you're throwing a bait like this. You don't typically catch too many smaller fish on these. Not to say that a 3.5 pounder or like even a 2.5 would eat this, because they will, but typically you're going to get a better sized fish on that. Next thing we caught fish on was the spinnerbait. I'm not going to go over this too crazy because I go over this in a lot of my videos, just because spinnerbait is one of my favorite things to throw. Got the big white 1-ounce hog collar, super deep. I like fishing it out there in that deep water. Makes it sink a lot faster, and that big blade and these light wire just gives it a big thump, and the fish really like to key in on it. Throw that on my 7.3 medium heavy fast action Enigma Phenom with a Phenom reel. This is a 7.3-1, and the spinnerbait for that, I just chuck it and slow roll it, make sure it's bouncing on the bottom. Any kind of cover or grass, if it's around grass, I rip it through the grass. If I'm around rocks or cover or riprap, I'm making sure I'm bouncing it off those rocks just enough that I can keep myself above them and not get stuck, but enough that I'm hitting them a little bit to maybe entice a reaction strike out of one of these bass. Next, what I caught one of the big ones on, and lost a pretty nice one on, crankbait. This crankbait here, if I can get it off of here, this is a Rapala DT20 in old school color. In the video I said it was smash. I was wrong. It's definitely old school. As you can see, this one's been used pretty hard. Got a lot of teeth marks in it and marks from the hooks, and it's got a pretty nice crack down the side of it as well. I use this baby pretty hard. I throw that and all my deeper diving crankbaits on this 7.8 medium heavy fast action Enigma Aaron's Edge, and I have a 5:4-to-1 gear ratio Abu Garcia winch on there. Check that out. I like that 5:4-to-1 gear ratio for crankbaits. Just helps you slow down a lot more. With a crankbait, you don't want to be ripping it like crazy all the time. A lot of times, especially in cold weather like this, you want to move that crankbait as slow as you possibly can to get them to bite. The fish are sluggish kind of this time of year. They're not going to be full on hammering stuff like they would in the early spring or later summer or fall like that. They're going to bite it with a lot more slower fall to it. I mean, with a lot more slower retrieve to it. And how I got that fish that day, I was just chugging it along. Hardly enough to keep it running on the bottom and banging off a little bit of rocks here and there. And actually, when that fish bit, it actually bit. I had paused for a couple seconds because I hit a rock and I felt it kind of snag up. So with it being a balsa wood crankbait, it'll float back up for me. So most of the time that is, unless it gets snagged up too much. But I let that go. It started floating back up. I could feel that in my line and in the rod that it was starting to float back up a little bit. And then I started reeling back on it again, and I made like 1 or 2 cranks on it, and that fish bit. A lot of times when you do stuff like that, that really entices a reaction strike out of them. And this fish, for the crankbait, I was fishing around points, and points coming into the bridge and around the sides of the bridge and the riprap around the bridge. A lot of times these fish will sit in them little pockets there, and any of those little pockets that the rocks create around the bridge riprap, and you can catch fish on them. Not all the time, but a lot of times there's fish there, and a lot of times you can catch them doing stuff like this. A lot of other areas you want to target with a crankbait: any main lake points, any spots where you can find some rock and riprap, like I said. Around any bridges, you can do it around fallen timber too. Just be a little bit careful getting snagged up. And ledges, any deep ledges that you know of, anything like that. Just really use the fish finder, go around, see if you can find any cover, deeper cover. Any suspended fish, you can even use it on suspended fish if you find them out suspended in about 20 foot of water and you got a 20-foot diving crankbait. Sometimes you can catch them just doing that as well. But either way, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you did enjoy it. That helps me get pushed to other people, and so they find my videos so I can help them, maybe provide them with some tips as well. And if you guys also have any advice for videos or future tip videos or anything that you guys want to see me highlight or do, please drop that in the comments down below as well. I'd love to put anything in here that you guys want to see. But either way, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for the next one, because we'll see you guys.